Hello guys, welcome to Hankins Custom Rifles and another episode of Hank's TV. Today's October 29th and we've been pretty busy at Hankins Rifles the last several days. Last week was a really busy week. We've got 5 muzzle loaders to sight in today, and we're going to start with these two right here. Now, these two rifles were bought by a guy named Sonny Coursey down in Florida, and he owns a plumbing business down there in Florida somewhere. I'm not exactly sure exactly where he lives, but he's in Florida. That's about all I can tell you. And he bought 2 of these rifles. One of them is for himself and one of them is for his hunting partner, James Keene. So they're identical rifles, and that's a good thing and it's a bad thing, and I'll tell you why it's a bad thing in a minute. But they're identical. They're Scout V2s. They both have the Vortex scope on here, and we're going to sight them in today. I'm going to start out about 50 yards and then we're going to move out to 100. And I've already loaded both these guns. And I put a witness mark on my ramrod. You can see this little orange piece of tape that I put on here. That should stop right flush at the muzzle brake when we load these guns. And the reason I'm going to tell you about this witness mark, and I'm guilty of not doing it. I don't put witness marks on my ramrods. But I don't shoot a lot of different guns, and I don't shoot a lot of different powder charges. I stick with one charge, one bullet, and usually one gun. But I'm going to tell you a quick story what happened to a guy here just a couple of weeks ago. And he did the same thing. He bought 2 CVA Scouts. We converted both of them. One for him, one for his wife. They were out shooting them, sighting them in, just like what I'm getting ready to do. And I wished I'd have brought it over here, but I didn't. Maybe I can put a picture of it into the video somehow. But he shot the gun, and then he loaded it, and he set it on the bench. And he got to talking to his wife, or somehow he got distracted, whatever it was. And he picked up a gun, thought it was the empty gun, and he loaded his loaded gun again. And he shot it. And when he did, it destroyed the gun. It blew it to pieces. I mean, it split the barrel down, looked like a banana, blew the scope clear off, split this here steel scope base, split the action, blew the forearm to a million little pieces. They couldn't even find pieces of this forearm. And the only thing that saved him from getting hurt really bad was he was shooting in a lead sled, and he had both hands back here. Had he had one hand up here on the forearm and that gun blew, it probably would have split his hand, cut it off, could have hurt him really bad. So just be extra cautious, especially when you've got 2 guns on the benches at the same time and you're trying to sight in 2 guns. It's probably something that you shouldn't even do. So you got 2 identical guns. It's very easy to get them mixed up. If I was the guy that owned these, I would mark them somehow so that you could identify one from the other. It's too bad we can't get these with camouflage stocks on them. One could be camoed, one could be black or whatever. You might want to do something to the gun so that you know which gun you're working on at which time, because these are identical. Same scope, same muzzle brakes, same powder funnels. I mean, they're exactly the same. But be extra cautious, James, when you're loading this gun and when you're out with Sonny. I know Sonny told me that he takes care of you and that you guys hunt together, and you would probably not be left alone in the woods or nothing without his supervision. But one of these days you're going to be old enough and you're going to get to hunt on your own. So that's something you want to keep in mind. Witness marks on your ramrod, and just pay attention and stay focused on what you're doing. Don't ever get so wound up on something else that you forget what you got in your hand, because it can kill you just as dead as it can kill the deer downrange. So don't ever forget that. But we're going to jump on into shooting these guns, and I've got 20 primer modules primed and ready to go. Like I said, both these guns are loaded, and I'm going to jump on the bench here in just a minute, grab my earplugs, and we're going to shoot these. So I'll be right back here in just a second. Okay guys, we're back, and I just wanted to let you know that it's pretty chilly today. The weatherman says it's going to get up to 37 degrees, but when we pulled in down here at the creek bottom, my truck said it was 34 degrees, so it's pretty chilly. And it's a good day for testing these guns, because this is what most people's hunting situations are going to be like. I know during our deer season in November here at Kentucky, most of the time it's in the 30s. Sometimes, you know, it gets down colder than that in the mornings, but by midday it's usually in the 30s. Not always, but this is pretty much hunting situations right here. And the load that I'm shooting is the only load that I recommend in these guns. Now, there's a lot of stuff you guys can experiment and play with, but I can't tell you any other load than what I'm shooting right here. I'm shooting 65 grains of IMR 4198 with a 275 grain Parker BE. Now, I like the BEs in these guns because most of the time they don't require sizing. But on both of these guns, I couldn't get a bullet down the barrel without sizing it a little bit. So even though you get a Scout and you think you might be able to shoot BEs without a sizing die, that's not always true. These two here both require just a touch in the sizing die. But we're going to go ahead and shoot these now. And y'all know how you put the primer modules in. It's pretty easy. You can do it right here on the bench. And that's all there is to it. So here we go, our first shot at 50 yards. Okay, we hit the paper, so I'm going to make an adjustment, and then this gun will be ready to go on out to 100 yards on our next shot. And we're ready to shoot the second gun at 50 yards. Now that's pretty good. Both these scopes are brand new right out of the box from Vortex, and they hit two different guns and they hit almost in the same place. So they both just need to come up a little bit. And they both shot a little bit to the right. So the adjustments from the factory pretty close to being the same. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and load these back up, and when I got them loaded and moved everything around for a 100-yard shot, we'll get back to you. Okay guys, we're reloaded. I've got both guns loaded, and I put a little orange dot sticker on this scope, and I'm probably going to leave that on there for you, Sonny, so that when you get these, you know which one is which. Now, this gun I'm going to shoot at the top target at 100 yards, and this gun I'll shoot the bottom target at 100 yards, and that orange dot is going to help me distinguish between the two of them, because I'd get them mixed up myself if I didn't have them marked somehow or another. So we're reloaded with both of them. This one on the bench has already got a primer cap on it, so I'm going to shoot the top target at 100 yards. And I can see the impact, so I'm going to make an adjustment before we take it off the bench. And that next shot should be pretty close to the bullseye. If I can keep this orange dot to stay stuck on there. It's pretty cold today, so it may not want to stick. Okay, we got our second one primered up. Okay, I see that one, I think, so we're going to make an adjustment here. And we're ready to do this again. So we're going to size a couple bullets and then I'll get right back with you guys. Okay guys, we're back for shot number 3 on each gun. And I've got our first gun on the bench again. We're going to shoot at the top target. We got to put a primer in this one. So this one here comes out. Put the new one in. I'm going to put the old one over here on this shelf. I see that one. And I see that one. And both of these guns are with the 1.5 inches of the bullseye on our third shot. So we're pretty close. I'm going to go ahead and make some adjustments. And then, now I'll tell you what, I ain't going to make any adjustments. We're close enough to the bullseye. We're just going to shoot 3-shot groups and see what we get. And then we can make an adjustment at the end. So I'm going to load one of these up for you, Sonny and James, on camera so that you can show James how it's supposed to be done. I know you wanted me to make this little video for you guys, so let's go ahead and load one on the camera so that you'll better understand how we load them here. So I've already set your sizing die for the BE bullets, and they are going to require sizing. Now, if you just want to go to the range and plink and have fun and don't shoot a big bunch of money, you can buy Spear Gold Dots. I like those Spear Gold Dot 230 grain bullets, shoot the same powder charge, or you can lower it down a little bit if you want to. But we're going to take a powder charge, which I keep over here in a box. I got all my powder charges weighed up. We're going to get 2 of them. There's 65 grains of powder in there. Whether it's got a blue lid or a red lid, it's still the same powder charge. You're going to put your funnel in your muzzle brake. You're going to dump your gunpowder in. you'll drop your bullet down through the muzzle brake, and then you'll push it down with your ramrod. And you want to check your witness mark on the ramrod. You can't see it because the funnel's in there, but if you pull the funnel out, you can see it's right there next to the muzzle brake. So that's perfect, exactly where we want it. We're going to pull our ramrod out. We're going to pull our funnel out. Don't forget to pull the funnel out. I've had 2 guys call me already this fall needing another funnel because they forgot to take the funnel out and shot it. They got lucky it didn't tear up their muzzle brake. It's the 3rd one I know of that's been shot, and it don't tear up the muzzle brake, it just tears up the stem on the funnel. So they got lucky, I guess. And we're going to load another one. So funnel in the muzzle brake, dump the gunpowder in. Your bullet goes through the funnel, and then use your ramrod to push it down. Check your witness mark again, right there at the end of the muzzle brake. Ramrod out. Take your funnel out. Now you guys got 2 funnels because you've got 2 guns, but they're both the same funnel. So we're ready to make another shot. So we might as well just go ahead and shoot it. Shooting this one at the top target. And we're shooting this one at the bottom target. Okay, we've got 2 guns, 2 groups, 2 bullet holes, and both of them are almost touching each other. So we're going to shoot one more out of these guns. I'll make a scope adjustment and probably call them done, get them boxed up and shipped down to Florida. Hopefully it's a little warmer down there than it is up here today. It's getting chilled for me. I've been out in it now for a little while and I'm starting to cool down, but we'll load these up off the camera, save the battery life on my little camera there. Got a lot of videoing to do today, so we'll get back with you guys here in a minute. All right, guys, we're back. We're going to shoot one more shot out of each one of these guns, and then these 2 are probably going to be done. And now I'm going to tell you, for a hunting gun and an inexpensive way to get into smokeless muzzle loaders, it's this little system right here, CVA Scout V2. You can buy one, send me the barrel, or you can buy it from me already converted. I'm keeping a couple of them in stock all the time, so if you need one in a hurry, you can call me. I've already got them ready to go. All you gotta do is buy you a scope and mount it on there and shoot this load that I'm telling you to shoot, 65 grains of IMR 4198 with a 275 grain bullet or lighter. You can shoot 250s, you can shoot 230s. You can shoot Hornady XTP, Spear Gold Dots. All those bullets kill deer. If you're hunting in the woods and your shots are 30, 40 yards, them bullets kill a deer as dead as any other bullet. So let's jump on back out to the 100-yard target. We're going to shoot one more shot out each one of these, and we'll be ready to call them done. I dropped that primer module. Okay, Sonny, this gun is finished for you guys. I'm gonna make a final scope adjustment to bring you up into the bullseye at 100 yards. And when you guys get it down there in Florida, you can fine tune it to whatever you might need. We need to come up an inch. And we need to go to the right a half an inch. This gun is finished. Now we're going to do the second gun. We're shooting at the bottom target. We're going to make a scope adjustment on this one now. I think I pulled that shot there a little bit. It's not quite as in the group with the rest of them, but it's pretty close. So we're a little bit high. We need to come down. And we need to go to the left about an inch. All right. I'm going to call these guns done now, fellas. They'll be headed your way Monday morning, coming to Florida. I hope that you and James has a lot of good times with these guns. Go out and kill some deer. Send me some pictures of what you kill. I'll get them on my website. And I want to thank you, Sonny, for the business. And I'll give you the thumbs up. So you're a good man taking care of that kid, buying him this gun, and I'm sure he'll appreciate it for many, many years to come. Okay, guys, I decided to run down range real quick, show you this target and what these guns shot. And every gun's a little bit different. Most of these shoot really, really good. The second gun didn't quite shoot as good as the first gun, but I think I pulled that last shot. But we're going to zoom in on the top one right here. This is our first gun. That's the gun with the orange dot on it. That's 3 shots right there at 100 yards. That measures under 3/4 of an inch. So that's really accurate. That's some super shooting. Now this is our second shot that we fired for our sight in, and I moved the group down here. Come down to our second target, second gun. And these were my first 2 shots. That was my third one, and like I said, I think I pulled that. Something just didn't feel right when the gun went off, but that's still not bad for a really cheap, inexpensive gun getting into muzzle loading. And then this over here was my sight-in hole. I was off the paper, but I knew where it was at, and I just moved it on over. So that's what we've got out of these 2 CVA Scout V2s. If you want one, give me a call. And give me a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Visit Hank's message board for information and more load data for these kind of guns. And until next time, guys, y'all be safe, kill a big one this year. See ya.